Co-creation really is when staff and students come together and work collaboratively with one another to create components of curricula and pedagogical approaches, and also when staff and students come together to work on assessment so that they develop a shared understanding of the purpose of assessment and marking criteria.
Co-creation means to me, I think, setting up an open and meaningful dialogue between students and staff so that you can work together towards a common goal. Now, that common goal will look different depending where in the institution or setting that you're embedding co-creation. But I think that dialogue being open is a really important part of it.
So when we say co-creation, to me, that means embedding students into every stage of the curriculum design process. So that's from the initial idea stage through to the creation, all the way through the validation activities. But I think it's also important that when we say co-creation, we're seeing it as students, as co-designers, and not simply as a body that we need to consult. They need to be there from the beginning all the way through to the end, and they need to have an equal stake in it.
Co-creation certainly matters because it's important for the student to become more engaged with their work. We feel that in this way, it encourages enhanced motivation and a stronger awareness of their learning for the students.
So if a student's been involved in creating and designing their curriculum, they see themselves reflected in it, and they almost have that buy-in to fully and wholly engage in the content, to learn from it, to develop as a person.
Often, if we don't embed co-creation, then students never learn what their preferred style of learning is, and they just deliver what they think we expect from them as the educators. Whereas doing co-creation in the classroom or in committees and being able to have those open conversations really allows our learners to start to build their self-awareness, to test out skills that they might not test out in other settings.
First of all, it needs to be communicated well. I think that's the area that students really feel sometimes that there isn't enough strong communication between staff and students.
I think that staff actually need to take the first step in inviting students into the co-creation as co-designers, because often, I guess, if you see that power imbalance between staff and students often don't feel like that's their space, or that they have the expertise that's needed to be involved in curriculum design. And obviously that's not true, because at the end of the day, students are experts in terms of being students, in terms of the student experience. And we actually just need to empower students to put themselves forward, to actually realize the skills that they have and that their viewpoints are actually really valid.
I think this all starts with designing the right spaces for co-creation to happen. So I think one space is outside of our curriculum. So thinking about student representative areas, thinking about education committees, peer support schemes, and how students and staff can collaborate in those settings to be able to start to build those type of open and honest relationships that are absolutely needed for co-creation to work. The other place where we have to make space and build in co-creation is within the curriculum and within the classes and our teaching settings, so that then everybody has a chance to take part in that. And I think you can do that in small ways by creating space to design resources and design activities together between staff and students, or you can do that in bigger ways and embed it in the decision-making aspect of modules and particularly around assessment and things as well.